Hello and welcome to Sessions with Judith John. You can see on the screen the WhatsApp number on which you can contact me and the mail ID on which you can contact me. Please do so. And in today's session, we are going to see the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Let's go on to it. Aunt Jennifer's Tigers by Adrienne Rich. What do you think the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers is about? Is it about tigers? Is it that Aunt Jennifer is having tigers as her pets? When you look at the title, a lot of things come into your mind about what this poem is going to be about. So before we go into the poem, let's read a little bit about the poet to clear all our doubts. Adrienne Rich was born in Baltimore, Maryland, US. She is widely known for her involvement in contemporary women's movement as a poet and theorist. She has published 19 volumes of poetry, 3 collections of essays and other writings. A strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her work. The poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers addresses her constraints of married life a woman experiences. The constraints of married life a woman experiences. If you can see, I have already highlighted it here because that is the theme of the poem. So it's not about tigers. Then why are tigers mentioned here? For this, we'll go in detail into the poem. Before that, who's Adrienne Rich? An American poet. She died very recently, just in 2012. So you can see a lot of her works online. She was very active in voicing herself and through her writings. Now here, if you look at, I have also tried to give you all the date you can see here. 15th May 1929 that she was born, and then she died in 27th March 2012. So very recently, not very long ago. So what was she involved with? Contemporary women's movements. She has been working for that. I'm sure we have heard and read a lot, even in our country, India, about women empowerment, about how the freedom of women is restricted. Okay? They work with a lot of constraints even if they are working women, and all their problems. Even when they walk out in the public, how are they treated and looked upon? And even in their homes, we have heard of domestic violence, we have heard of the way women are not respected even in their own homes. You will surely remember the example of last year's lesson. Which one? Mother's Day. So a lot has been discussed. So we are running on that topic. The same similar topic about women. You can see here the word resistance. So, to racism and militarism. Racism, again, a very often we discuss the word racism. You'll hear it and see it in the news. So many a times people being treated differently because of the race they belong to. Okay. And then militarism. Then being very authoritative, dictator, all this. Military rule doesn't work. We are all human beings, we have to respect everyone, all are equal. And then see here, the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers addresses the constraints of married life a woman experiences. What are these constraints? Limits or restrictions? Caught in a web with the burden of family duties. So many women, they are not able to pursue what they want to do because they're bound by everything of the family. First family, then their career, then what they want to do. So let's see what the poet wants to tell us about all this through this poem. It may look very small. It's a lyric. What's a lyric? A lyric is something like a short song that can be sung. Okay. Where one's feelings and emotions are poured into it. The poet's feelings and emotions are poured into it, and that's why it's called a lyric. Okay. And of course, it's more like a song. What makes it a song? The rhythm or the beat in it. You'll see the question here raised, what does the title of the poem suggest to you? Are you reminded of other poems on tigers? Have you read other poems on tigers? Have you heard? Tiger, tiger in the dark. So, there are poems which have been written on tigers. What are the qualities of tigers? And we can think of that. What are the qualities of tigers? They're brave. They're not afraid of men. Okay? And they're free in the jungle, in the forests. Alright? Unless man captures them and puts them in the zoo. Okay. So that is why we are going to here compare the tiger and women. Here in the name of Aunt Jennifer. So Aunt Jennifer here represents women, married women. Let's go with the poem quickly. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie still ringed with the ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. So it's only a few lines, 3 small stanzas, but the meaning it's going to convey, it's going to be a very deep one. Let's analyze it. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen. Okay. What is a screen there? A curtain. Okay. Or something like that which is hanging. A cloth that's hanging on a frame. And what is there on that? Tigers. And what are the tigers on that screen doing? Prancing. What is prance? To spring jerkily, jump happily and proudly. So that's what the tigers on the screen are doing. So basically it has been created on the curtains. It's not real tigers present there. On the curtain that's hanging in our house, there are these tigers, picture of the tigers prancing, happily jumping. Bright topaz denizens of a world of green. What is bright topaz denizens here? The tigers. Why are they addressed as bright topaz denizens? Because of their color, topaz, yellow. Alright, topaz, the stone that is yellow in color. So, bright topaz denizens, why? Because they are living in the area that they belonged to. The forest of a world of green. Here, world of green refers to the forests. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. So unlike women who fear men, they do not fear. So particularly the poet mentions, they do not fear the men. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. How do they move about? Pace means move about. How? Walk, run or move at a particular speed without any specific destination to reach. So they are free. They are happy. They're just doing what they want to do. in sleek chivalric certainty. You can see the meaning of the word sleek given below right here. Elegant. Elegant in a smooth manner. Moving in a smooth manner. Chivalric. What is chivalric? Courteous, being polite, gentlemanly behavior. Especially towards women, like brave knights. So they are pacing like that, like as though they are real gentlemanly move. I think we have seen tigers move. They really move about very, very beautifully to look at, very nice. With that certainty, with that surety. So they're just going about very freely, very confidently. Why is this Aunt Jennifer's work? Why should Aunt Jennifer create tigers on the screen? She could have made any other kind of embroidery and work. Why particularly tigers? What does one create? An artist creates a painting of whatever is within him, that he pours it out on the screen. Any writer who writes will be writing whatever they have got in their own mind. And the same thing here, Aunt Jennifer, as a married woman, she wants to be free like the tigers, confident like the tigers, not afraid of men like the tigers. So again, that's the reason she has been creating all this. Let's go to the second stanza. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. So Aunt Jennifer's fingers, even as she is doing the embroidery using the wool and whatever she is doing, even then she is not even able to create that properly. She is finding the needle, even ivory needle with which she stitches, hard to pull. Why? Why? Fluttering, moving in a quick, irregular motion as if agitated, troubled, nervous. Why? Okay, because the massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Now this is very symbolic. It's not really, when we wear a ring on the finger, it's not going to really become very heavy. So here it is symbolic. It's an image that's created. Why is it heavy? Reminding her that she is a married woman and that she has to behave in a particular manner, remain with these kind of restrictions. Okay? All the responsibilities that come with the marriage. So Uncle's wedding band. This is called a ring that is on the finger, what she wears, they exchange. Now this is according to the Western culture. When they get married, what do? They exchange rings. So that ring is the wedding band. Okay. And it's not really heavy, not physically heavy that she is not able to bear it, the weight of it. It is symbolic that reminds her that she is married and she has to remain within these limits. Okay. So that sits heavily upon her hand, disturbing her, unable to do what she really wants to do. That she wants to really create an embroidery of whatever her mind wants to do. Because all the responsibilities that come with marriage lie as a burden on her. Now, you will see this in this poem, there's a lot of time gap that goes. So in the first stanza, it's only talked about, how the tigers, and the second stanza, Auntie is there, Aunt Jennifer. And in the third stanza, you will say Aunt is already dead and gone. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie still ringed with ordeals. Okay. When Aunt is dead and gone, her terrified hands, see the poet mentions terrified hands, frightened, timid hands, will lie there. What will happen? Dead body. The hands, when we keep it, will be lying there. Still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. What is ringed? Encircled, surrounded, vicious circle. If you remember, the vicious circle is something you're like entrapped in it and you're not able to come out of it. So here it's something like a vicious circle. She's ringed with it. With the ordeals. What are the ordeals? Difficult, painful experiences that she has had in her life and that she was mastered by. That she was dominated. Okay, the domination, right? Okay, the tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. So although she is dead and gone, her hands still talk about the pains that she has been through, but the tigers that she had created on the screen will still be moving, prancing, proud and unafraid. As and how the breeze blows, the curtain will be moving, and the tigers all look like as though they are jumping, playing, happy, proud, unafraid, not afraid of anyone, free. That's what Aunt Jennifer wanted to be like, and she couldn't be. All right. So it's a whole lot of expression of, if you look at again these lines which are highlighted over here, the poem addresses the constraints of married life a woman experiences. That after marriage she has to live with so much of restrictions, so many constraints, the responsibilities that come with it. Somebody else masters her, she is not her own master. All right. So this is what is the poem about. Quickly we'll run through the questions now. How do denizens and chivalric add to our understanding of the tiger's attitudes? Okay. What is denizens? Living in their own habitat. Free. Chivalric. Being brave, like the knights. Alright. So the tiger's attitude is what? Freedom, bravery, and all that, which Aunt Jennifer is not able to see in her own life. Okay. Why do you think Aunt Jennifer's hands are fluttering through her wool in the second stanza? Why is she finding the needle so hard to pull? Now, if you look at Aunt Jennifer's is living in this fear, living with so many of these constraints, so she is not able to do even what she wants to do properly and freely. The wedding ring is lying on her hand, reminding her of all the constraints she has. Okay, it's not really heavy and disturbing her, but the very ring that is there is disturbing, of course. What is suggested by the image? Massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Okay, again it's similar to the second question. It's not the real weight, it's symbolic over here. It's really an image by itself, that the weight of the wedding band is not physically but is reminding her of her marital obligations. Of what or whom is Aunt Jennifer with in the terrified with in the third stanza? Okay, what is she terrified of? Of the ordeals that has crushed her. Okay, suppressed, being dominated, not having her own freedom or say. All right, what are the ordeals Aunt Jennifer is surrounded by? Why is it significant that the poet uses the word ringed? No? What are the meanings of the word ringed in the poem? What is ringed? I had clearly stated here just now, vicious circle. Okay, you're of grip, being in the grip of married life and unable to come out of that vicious circle. All right, why do you think Aunt Jennifer created animals that are so different from her own character? Because that's what she wanted to be, and that's what she's trying to express. What might the poet be suggesting through this difference? If you look at the tiger is known for its great strength, its fierce, it's royal in its movements. And what about Aunt Jennifer? Frightened, okay, crushed, suppressed. And there no one is there to rule the tiger. Tiger will rule itself, nobody else can rule it. Okay, so that is what the poet is talking about. Interpret the symbols found in the poem. What are the symbols found in the poem? One is massive weight. Please mark it out. I think I don't know, massive weight. Now what are the? One is massive weight is a symbol. Massive weight is a symbol because it's not really heavy, but it symbolizes that all the burdens are on her. Terrified hands. This is also a symbol. The frightened hands. Okay. Ringed with ordeals. Okay. Here, ringed with ordeals. This can also be. These are all the symbols that are found in the poem. Now let's go to the next question. Do you sympathize with Aunt Jennifer? what is the attitude of the speaker towards Aunt Jennifer? Do you sympathize? I'm sure yes. I'm sure yes. All of us have our mothers, our sisters, so many women around us who shower love on us, care for us. So I'm sure we are able to understand and sympathize with Aunt Jennifer for what she's going through. What is the attitude of the speaker towards Aunt Jennifer? She is also sympathetic, if you look at, all right? And she wants and seeks liberation. No? Wants Aunt Jennifer to be happy. All right. Now notice the colors suggested in the poem. What are the colors that are used in the poem? One, of course, is topaz. All right. Bright topaz, the color of tigers. Next is the green, world of green. Okay. So the forests, green color. Yellow, topaz is yellow. Then green. All right. And ivory. Ivory needle. It's made of ivory. Needles in those days were made of ivory. Okay, even today, if it's expensive, good needles made of ivory. But ivory is also a color. It's a kind of a dull of white color. It is ivory. Next one, notice the repetitive use of certain sounds in the poem. What are these repetitive sounds or alliterations? So let's have a look at the alliteration. Prance, prancing and proud. Prance across a screen, sound. So all these are world of green. Fingers fluttering, fingers fluttering. These are some of the alliterations used in the poem. So the poem is a lyric, okay, and conveys this idea about women, okay, living with. So somewhere the poet brings out the critical, she's being critical of the male-dominated world, and about the fear and slavery and ordeals that women go through. I hope all of you have understood the poem well. Please do mark all this in your textbook also, so that you can remember it well. Okay? So hope you have enjoyed watching this session with me. Learn well, do well, all the best. God bless. Keep watching Sessions with Judith John for more tips and inputs to excel and stand out. You can text your doubts and queries in the comment box or mail me at sessionswithjudithjohn@gmail.com for any kind of assistance you need. You can also contact me at this number 82979708282 for personal online coaching or even just a single doubt clearing session that you would like as per your requirement. Thank you.